Do your hips feel tight? Do you have low back pain that's constant nagging, kind of goes across the back in a belt-like fashion? Then it's probably due to one muscle in your body. It's called the psoas. And in this video, I'm going to show you what it is, why it gets tight, and 3 specific stretches to help release the psoas so you can get back to living the life you want to live. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Erik Simms, aka the Kentucky Chiro. I've been seeing patients for over 20 years and performed over 100,000 adjustments. So the psoas, what exactly is it? The psoas is a muscle that basically runs from the front of your spine in the lumbar area, L1, L2, L3, L4, and it actually attaches down to the hip. The problem is this muscle is our major hip flexor. And because it's our major hip flexor, it's very important to do several things. One, if we are ever going from a seated to a standing position, it's what brings us up. If we're going from a standing to a seated, it's what allows us to go down in a controlled manner. It's also the muscle if we're taking our leg and we're bringing our knee to our chest, or if we're actually doing any kind of sports activity that requires a rotation of the hips, such as golf, like we're going through here, it's what allows us to actually start to turn. So the psoas is a major factor in a lot of the different things that we do every day. But the problem is when the psoas gets tight, that tightness causes pressure on the low back. And when the psoas muscle tightens, our back muscles, which are pulling against it, will also tighten to try and counteract that tightness in the front. And that can cause you to have some pain across your back. Now, that pain normally is across the back in a belt-like fashion. This is often the reason why I make the joke with a lot of my patients. If you have a tight psoas, you're gonna have a sore ass. Because psoas tightens, glute muscles tighten, this area gets sore. How do we fix that? Well, it's pretty simple. We've got 3 stretches that are gonna help you to actually stretch your psoas, relieve that pressure across your low back, and getting you feeling better. So our first stretch is called a resting squat. And what it is basically, it's not so much to stretch the psoas as it is meant to open up the hips and to allow some pressure taken off the low back. And what you're gonna do is you're basically going to stand in this position. You're going to put your feet a little bit wider than shoulder, and you're gonna squat down. And you're gonna stay in this position for about 30 seconds to a minute. Now, if this hurts your knees, then make it a lot less shorter. Obviously, do more reps, and I would say do it for about 10 count. But if you can handle this position, I would go down into it and do it for about 30 seconds. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up, relax a little bit, shake your legs out, and then go back into that same position. And what you can also do, kind of do a little bit more, is you can kind of put your hands together and push out on your knees, kind of open up those hips just a little bit more. Make sure you keep your back straight, okay? We don't want to hunch like this, but you want to make sure that you're keeping your back straight, head up, and just right here, letting that body relax. You'll kind of feel some pressure taking off your back. You know, a lot of our daily aches and pains can be relieved simply by stretching every day. If you're looking for a free at-home stretch guide that takes about 10 minutes every day, then click on the link in the description below. So the next stretch we're going to do is called couch stretch. This stretch is meant to stretch our psoas, and it's a great stretch. However, not everybody feels this stretch right away. You might have to move around a little bit to feel a real good stretch, and you're going to want to feel it through here, not so much through here. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your leg on a chair, or you're going to do this on the ground, which is also able to be done. And you're going to put your leg out in front of you. You're going to keep your back up, your head up, so that your back is nice and straight, and you're just going to bend forward. And you should feel a little stretch through this area. Go to the other side, same thing. We're here, and you're going just like this. And you'll feel that stretch coming through here. Now, if you don't feel the stretch, you might have to get close to a wall so you can go a little bit further, just like that. Or you might have to position your leg a little bit more different, kind of wrapped around you a little, kind of here. And if you're trying to get more out of the stretch, you can always lift your arm and kind of turn your body a little bit, and that will stretch through here more. You're gonna wanna do this stretch about 10 times, hold each one for a 5 count. And I always recommend stretching both sides and doing it twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. But if you know you're gonna be sitting for a long period of time, I would do this stretch before you sit. Now, if it's easier for you to get up and down on the ground, then you can always do the stretch on the ground. Same kind of thing, you're in this kneeling position, back and head straight up, and you're just coming forward just like this. I prefer doing it with a chair or a table that I can put my leg on, because I feel like I get a deeper stretch out of it that way. Now, the reason couch stretch is so good is because it is one of the best ways to stretch your psoas. And by stretching that psoas a little bit, also it will stretch a little bit of your quad up here. But remember, you're trying to feel it through here. But it is one of the more effective stretches for your psoas and your hip flexors. Now, our third stretch is actually something that's pretty common in yoga that a lot of people do, but I want to say with this stretch, you want to make sure that if you're having any kind of low back problems or any kind of low back pain, you take it easy. So how to do this stretch, it's called Cobra pose, is we're going to be laying flat on the ground. We're going to come right here. You're going to start off with on our stomach, and we're going to come up just like this. Now, for me, I don't feel a stretch here because my psoas is not that tight. So what I can do is I can come up like this and go here, and I feel that stretch more. The problem is I also feel a little bit of pressure on my back. So I would hold it for a 5 count, come back down, come back up, hold it for a 5 count, come back down. Now, if you're doing this stretch and you find that it causes a lot of pressure on your low back or it starts to hurt, then stop. Remember, we're never trying to go into pain when we stretch. We're always trying to stretch till we get to a point where we feel a good stretch. We're here, we're up like this. If coming to your elbows, you don't feel any stretch, come up like this. But if coming up to your elbows, you do feel a stretch, stop there. Once you get a little bit more where you've got a little bit more flexibility in it, come up right there. Remember to keep your chest up, head up, and just breathe in and out. And you want to make sure that you're taking your time once you go down out of this pose, just like that. Again, you're going to hold this pose for 5 seconds or a 5 count, and you're going to do it 10 times. Some people, what's really good is they will go from this pose right here where they go up, and then they'll come out like this and stretch their low back and then go back into it. That's completely fine to do. The biggest thing is though, is as you're doing it, make sure you take it nice and slow. Remember to breathe all the way through, because this will help to stretch the lower abs and the hip flexors. And if you go back into child pose, where your arms are stretched out, will help stretch your upper back and take pressure off the low back. Now, the next thing is how do we prevent the psoas from getting tight in the first place? Well, one of the things is if you're sitting for a long period of time, then it is best to be sitting up straight so that you're not sitting in this position. Because if you sit and your body hunches over like this as you're working on the computer, well, that shortens the muscle, and that only means it's going to get tighter. If you're sitting in a chair at work or you're sitting at home, it's always best to have a little bit of lumbar support so that your back is sitting straight, just like this. So you want to grab a towel and you want to roll that towel up, put that towel right behind your back, and you can do that when you're driving, when you're sitting on the couch, or you're sitting at the office. They also have special ergonomic pillows that you can put behind there. Sometimes those work for people. Some people prefer just using a towel. But putting the towel right through here as you sit for a long period of time will help to take pressure off of the low back. The other thing that you can do too is when you're sitting for a long period of time at work, make sure you get up and walk around a little bit every hour. Do it for about 5 to 10 minutes. I know this is frustrating because if you're like me, once I'm really involved in something and I'm just clicking on all cylinders, I'm going to stay doing it. But if you've been doing it for an hour, you need to get up, move around, walk around. That's why people that have Apple Watches or other devices on their arm kind of usually tells them, hey, get up, it's been an hour, you need to move. By doing that, that helps to not only stretch the psoas, but takes pressure off your low back. And if you're driving, what I would suggest is every 2.5 to 3 hours, getting out of the car, moving around for 10 to 15 minutes, walking around, doing the stretches that we just showed you if you can. For more exercises and tips to feel your best, click on the subscribe button. And if you'd like to set up a free consultation with Triple Crown Chiropractic, then click on the link in the description below. I'm Dr. Erik, aka the Kentucky Chiro, and I'll talk to you soon.